Rangers.
Penalty to Livingston.
Yeah. What do you think, Des?
You don't even need to think. It's a penalty. 100% a penalty kick every day, all day, and twice on a Sunday, as folk would say. Yeah, it's a penalty. And it's probably up there, in my opinion, along with the Sean Rooney incident at St Mirren last season. I think that's potentially the worst VAR decision that we've seen.
Can you attempt to give us an explanation, Des?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Okay. Right,
Nope.
see you later, Des. Thanks, man.
I genuinely don't get where they're saying there was a deflection off the thigh onto the hand. Now, I've looked at it, and I know Willie said in his show a couple of weeks ago with Gordon Duncan, like, don't look at it. He doesn't want people to look at it forensically. You would need to look at that forensically to try and see if there's any take on it. There is none whatsoever. And is that not what VAR's there for? I can understand Ross Hardy not getting it in the natural state of play, but you're sitting in the VAR room with TV screens slowed down, multiple angles. That's what it's there for. And unfortunately,
I disagree with you. I think the referee's got to see that at real speed. I think that's just an easy decision for the referee to make on the pitch. Never mind with the benefit of the safety net of VAR. I think it's incredible. I have seen a clip. I have seen one angle where it did. There is a clip that makes it look as if the ball has come up off Fernandez. But it's the merest of touches. And even then, there's other angles like the one we've just put up there as a still, which make that look, maybe a split second earlier. There's a slight deflection, but his hand is out. And I think that the explanation given to Livy was that his hand's just in a perfectly natural position there. The hand is moving towards the ball.
He stuck his hand up the ball,
I just, on no basis, can I understand why that decision.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Was taken on no basis, Des. Why did not even just say, why is John Beaton, who I think was VAR, why is he not calling the referee over to the screen to take a look for himself?
At the very least,
that's about to say. So I would have thought that if I was the referee, I would be thinking, oh, right, someone's there. They've got to have a look at it. So in that decision there alone, now I disagree with you, Keith. They're saying that the referee has got to see it. These things happen very quickly. I'm not admonishing him from it.
Everybody else in the stadium seemed to see it, Des.
Aye, okay, right. But that's not to say that Ross wasn't going down his ear to say whatever. However, what's got to be there and what's got to be taken from this, the fact that Ross Hardy has not been asked to come across to have an on-field review, John Beaton has been judge and jury there. Mm-hmm. He's basically said, no, nothing to look at, no penalty. I think that Ross Hardy, on reflection, looking at this, will feel pretty hard done to that he wasn't given that opportunity. Just as we said a couple of weeks ago regarding the incidents in the Old Firm game where Nick wasn't given the opportunity to look at it. But yeah, that's as clear a penalty as you're ever going to see. And if you look back also earlier on in the season, the Kilmarnock game where the Celtic Kilmarnock then at Rugby Park, a penalty was given for the ball striking off a teammate to come on. A deflection to come on to a Kilmarnock player. How can you be in control of what your teammate's body part is doing? I think it's entirely wrong.
I think you've hit on something there, Des, and I think it's a worry. At what point has this been a strategic decision made that VAR gets the final word, that VAR is actually more important than the match referee? Because you're right, that's exactly what happened when the VAR failed to send the referee, was it Nick Walsh, to the screen during the Old Firm game, and it's happened there again. It's like VAR now consider themselves to be the final arbiter. And I don't like that, and I don't think that's the way it was meant to be carried out. It
certainly shouldn't be. It's like any job. You've got a manager, you've got an assistant manager, you've got a coach. The manager has the final say on what players pick, players, etc. Mm-hmm. That should be the role of the match official is the sole arbiter. His decision is final, and I think it's negligible. So you can only look at it two ways. Are they being told that they shouldn't be getting called across the VAR, maybe because of how long it's taken? Well, that's wrong, because VAR's there to assist.
We'll just get rid of VAR then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that won't happen, though. That's just not going to.
No, but do you know what I mean? You take my point. What's the point in having the technology there if you're not going to use it properly?
Exactly.
I don't get it. And my real concern is, you know how sometimes some of your lot does, some of the referees, they get a bit of an ego, they get a bit above themselves. Other guys now sitting in VAR thinking, well, I know better. I know better than him. I should probably be out in that pitch. I'll make this call. Because that's not what they're there to do. And I'm struggling to find another reason that they would do that. That they say, well, I'll make this call. You're not the match ref.
Yeah.
You don't have that responsibility. I find it staggering.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think there are a lot of referees who have been there for a while, who do have some sort of self thoughts of themselves, and how big they are and what they can do and what they're going to do to me, so to speak. But it should be there. If you're VAR, you're there to assist the referee. That's why it's called video assistant referee. You're there to provide assistance when a decision hasn't been made or a factual decision has to be overturned or highlighted. You then say, I would like you to come and review this. It's then up to you. If the referee doesn't want it, absolutely fine. We've got to be man enough and big enough to live and die by their own decisions. I think that we really need more guidance and more transparency from the SFA on what the VAR guidance now is, because we've seen it too many times. We've seen it too many times that the referee hasn't been called across, and the VAR is I've used that word, judge and jury.